On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype, we make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what go on. A blessed and wonderful Wednesday evening to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, I don't know how we do it over on this side. So we have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we are going in a Jamaica. So watch this now, my peeps. Now the evening we're going to kick it off with an international story coming out of our neighboring Grand Cayman Islands, where this 37-year-old Jamaican man, identified as George Orlando Sr., has been sentenced to life imprisonment for the cold-blooded fatality of 25-year-old Devante Hernandez. It is stated that it was a brazen daylight fatal knockings and clappings that took place in Georgetown on September 29, 2023. Senior, the criminal element, was found guilty by a jury in April of 2025 and will have to serve a minimum of 34 years and 8 months before he becomes eligible for parole. Now reports reaching On The Spot News Media would suggest that the now deceased man, Mr. Hernandez, was conned up at close range in the chest with a handgun whilst his 2-year-old daughter played nearby outside at a liquor store. The chilling execution-style fatal knockings and clappings, described by the presiding judge as a public assassination, and it was carried out in broad daylight, lasting no more than 2 minutes. Now, the Chief Justice handed down the sentence highlighted several aggravated factors, including that the fatality was premeditated, committed in the presence of the victim's child, and executed with no regard for witnesses. Now, investigations link the fatal knockings and clappings to a drug-related deal gone wrong. Now, it is stated that the criminal element, Senior, that's George Orlando Sr., a self-confessed drug dealer, reportedly went on the run and was captured around 3 weeks later. He was said to be living illegally in the Cayman Islands at the time and also has prior convictions in Canada for a drive-by knockings and clappings. Now, the Chief Justice ordered that the criminal element be deported back to Jamaica once he become eligible for release. Well, we are going to keep him for a mighty long time, and we're glad for that. Maybe by then, Jamaica will reach on a certain level where we can take him back, and if him give we any trouble in our old days, we just slap him away and call it fish tea. Yeah, man. So, this are the result of bad man thing. So, for those who is listening on and say, oh, we go down a prison, go lie down for your boy, I just open up a peer on yourself and understand, say, 35 to life and a joke business. Yeah, man. Say, anyway, make we continue. Now, in relations to this morning's set of story, we have something good for add to it in relation to the 6 we get knock up and clap up down a Tex Lane and a Charles Street intersection. And as I stated earlier, this morning, 2 9-year-old night and 2 teenagers But the teenager that was reportedly gone, no longer among the land of the living. We get some good news, say the teen never passed, but he is hanging on to life by a thread at the Kingston Public Hospital. So he's alive nonetheless. Now we are going to hear from the Superintendent of Police in charge of the Kingston Central Police Division, that's Senior Superintendent Beresford Williams, as he weighs in on this latest spate of violence in his police division. Now listen.
The brief we have is that sometime about 8:50 this evening, a car drove up a long text lane. Men from that car opened fire on a group of persons who were standing and sitting in the space, then drove off. After the shooting, it was discovered that 6 persons were shot, to include 2 teenagers, 2 children, 9 years old, and 2 adults. As at now, we have no reported death. It is early days in the investigation, but for now, we are taking a preemptive approach to secure the place to prevent any reprisal.
Now the next thing that we're going to talk about, my peeps, is coming out of the St. Mary Police Division. So in this fresh set of story this evening, a 17-year-old is no longer among the land of the living, as he was brutally cut down in a hail of bullets by armed criminal elements. Now, his fatal knockings and clappings took place in a section of Annikie Bay known as Cricket River. So as I stated earlier, the man them run him down and gun him down. Yeah, man. Now, the Port Maria CIB is presently investigating that one. Yeah, man. Now, the next thing that we're going to talk about is over there in the St. Anne Police Division. Right out of Lima, so another man end up losing 3 pints. Now, the man in question who was on the receiving end of them fatal knife wounds there has since been identified as Roy Paul Annikie, 38 years old, said to be of a Tracyville address in Lima. It is said that he was knifed up, losing 3 pints, same place on the spot, by a man where them man say, boy, them not really know who the brother there. But it is stated that they had some sort of argument some time ago, and the man see him and decides him going to knife him up and take him 3 pints. Now the St. Anne's Bay Police is presently investigating that one. Yeah, man. Now the police them release some more murder stats, and them say murders are down in all police division with the exception of yours truly, St. Anne. Now, fatal knockings and clappings as it relates to the criminal elements in our country, them say everything is down. So the country has 19 police divisions. And I received an email the other day as it relates to that. So let me take this opportunity to explain. Now, when I say the St. Mary Police Division, even though St. Mary is a police division, it is also a parish by itself. But it is a division also. So the 19 Geographic Police Division includes some parishes, whilst other parishes are split up. Like St. Catherine, you have the St. Catherine North Police Division and the St. Catherine South. In Kingston and St. Andrew, them split up. You have Kingston Western, you have Kingston Central, and you have Kingston Eastern. And then in St. Andrew, you have St. Andrew Central, St. Andrew North, St. Andrew South. So not because I say St. Mary Police Division mean I'm speaking about St. Mary as a parish. It is a parish, but it is also a police division. So when I'm giving crime stats by parishes, I will not use the term Police Division. I will just state the St. Mary Parish. But if I'm speaking about one of the 19 geographical police divisions, I will state that I'm speaking about police divisions, because the borders of the police division is different from that of the borders of the parish itself. So as at October 4th, the St. Anne Police Division has recorded 48 fatal knockings and clappings by the hands of armed criminal elements, which is 8 more or 20% increase over the similar period of last year. The division, however, runs second to the St. Andrew South Police Division, which leads the nation with 61 homicides so far this year. The top 5 are rounded out by the St. Catherine South Police Division at 45, the St. James Police Division at 44, the St. Catherine North Police Division at 43. The data, which was released on Monday by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, indicates that though the division leads the country in fatalities, that's the St. Andrew South, it is currently 21% below last year's fatality rate. So meanwhile, Jamaica ended last week, September 27 to October 4th, in double figures with 11 fatalities. The week prior also ended with 11. And prior to the general election on September 3, Jamaica has experienced several weeks of single-digit fatalities. Now overall, the toll as at October 4th now stands at 522, which now represents a 41% reduction year on year. Well, I'm pretty sure by now it passed 522. You can add one easy 4 more to that. So this, as I stated, is a 41% reduction year on year. And last year around this time, the country would have had 883 fatalities at that time. Now, also last year, Jamaica averaged 23 fatal knockings and clappings per week and ended the year with 1,141 homicides. So this current week started off with a bloody note, with the quadruple fatal knockings and clappings over there in Linstead. Well, and a quadruple, more than that, because a 5 end up lose them 3 points out of the 9 we get can up. And then we had one more in the St. Andrew South Police Division. Well, trust and believe, you can add probably about 8 more on the 522. We can carry it go to about 530, somewhere thereabout. Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about, my peeps, is that the National Security Minister, Dr. Horace Chang, has dismissed claims that most Jamaicans are concerned about the surge in police fatal knockings and clappings. I beg to also rubbish that claim. After all the way Jamaicans say a go on, them could have really concerned about that. Yes, we do admit that sometimes the police are flawed in the execution of their duties, but I don't feel like John public really want them toned down, because the current trajectory, in my view, them are going good. Yeah, man. So according to the National Security Minister, most Jamaicans are in support of the police in their quest to dismantle criminal gangs and to arrest crime and violence producers. So it is stated that the police gone 233 fatal knockings and clappings so far this year. Dr. Chang, who was a guest on the morning agenda on Power 106, rubbish the claims that the police have been engaging in extrajudicial, fatal knockings and clappings. So we're going to hear from Dr. Chang right now as he weighs in on that particular controversial statement. Now listen.
I have no reason to believe that the mistakes are made, but the police have been professional in their operation, and the men who have been killed by the police in combat have been killed in combat. The counterpoint that is that we have 361 less Jamaicans who have died from criminal action. So that is the balancing out there. Watching we have provided the police with the required tools legislatively and physically and numbers-wise and training to find and apprehend criminals of this sort. It's still not the stuff. It is the same old way where police was guessing what they're doing and track down, trying to find somebody, and if they meet on one, then they may in fact just take revenge, so to speak. Those days are done. We have trained the police, provided numbers, provided tools, and they have the intelligence. They've been tracking the individuals. If individuals take on the police, I expect the police to be victorious. I expect anybody who shoots at the police will get shot and be killed.
Now the last thing that we are going to talk about, my peeps, is coming out of the St. Elizabeth Police Division, where the St. Elizabeth Police is presently investigating knockings and clappings are going in at the Santa Cruz bus park, where a man identified as Hubert Simpson, otherwise known as CJ, get caught up. Yeah, man. Now we get to understand, say a man just walk up on him, pull a firearm from his waistband and just start knock it and clap it on CJ. CJ managed to take away him bat and the people carry him to hospital. He was admitted in serious condition. Now we don't know if CJ see who still, but we are going to keep an eye on this one and update you subsequently. Yeah, man. Boy, may I tell you, my peeps, the knockings and clappings continues. So anyway, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in a subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.